Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you can hear me okay. Yes, I see. Okay. All right, well, it's about 1 o'clock, so we are going to go ahead and get started here. First of all, we're so excited that you could join us today for part of your afternoon to learn more about this really unique global virtual internship program. It's actually a first of its kind for both the ASU Study Abroad Office and our partner CAPA. My name is Maggie Flynn. I'm an international coordinator with the ASU Study Abroad Office, and I'm also joined today by my colleague Christine from CAPA. Christine, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so hi everyone. Thanks for joining, listening in, and watching the webinar. My name is Christine Francois, and I'm a program manager at CAPA, the Global Education Network. So during the application process, I'm one of the main point of contacts for any student who is applying to one of our programs. So if you're going to apply to the Global Virtual Internship Program, you're going to hear from me a lot.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, so before we move on to the actual presentation, I just want to address a few housekeeping items, if you will. The first is that we did mute all participant microphones. We also disabled video. We do ask that you remain this way only because it allows for fewer distractions throughout the presentation. Second thing, we know questions will come up throughout the presentation, and so you can utilize the chat function in Zoom. There should be a chat box on the bottom bar of your Zoom window that allows you to drop a question in there that will be answered by one of my many and wonderful colleagues who are here on the back end ready to answer your questions from both ASU and CAPA. For those joining on YouTube Live, there's also a chat function that is being monitored by people. There's a whole lot of us on this call today. We are also recording this presentation, so please don't feel like you need to frantically take notes and screenshots. We will be sending this to you next week, and we'll also compile a frequently asked question list so that should your question not get addressed live, we will address it along with that recorded presentation. So again, please stay muted. We're recording and use the chat function if we're not able to answer your question in today's presentation, which is obviously our main goal. So, okay, without further ado, I am going to turn it over to Christine to talk about who CAPA is and in general, what you can expect from a global virtual internship.
Thanks, Maggie.
Sure. I did hit the next button on the PowerPoint. Give me 1 second here. I just tested this and it worked just fine. There we go. My gosh. All right, take it away, Christine. Thanks.
Okay. So CAPA's mission is to provide meaningful learning abroad experience for students that allows you to analyze and explore complex political, cultural, and social landscapes within urban environments. CAPA is committed to providing a personalized learning experience for the student through academic rigor and cultural engagement. So with the Global Virtual Internship Program, the dates for the program are from July 6th to August 14th, so 6 weeks. And the deadline for the program is June 6th. I would recommend that you apply earlier than June 6th, so that way we have all your application materials and the CAPA internship team can compile your materials and start reaching out to various sites on your behalf. So the earlier you do that, the better. And then for the virtual internships, the different locations that the internship sites are located are in Barcelona, Buenos Aires, Dublin, Florence, London, Sydney, and Shanghai. And for this internship program, you'll be able to get 3 credit hours, but make sure that you reach out to your academic advisor because the credit is determined by your academic unit. So what you should expect with this global virtual internship program is that every week you're going to be interning with your internship site for 22 and a half hours. And that's going to add up to 135 hours by the end of the 6-week program. There's also going to be an online internship orientation, which is an hour and a half. And then every week you're going to participate in the global internship course online. So that's an hour and a half each week as well. So for the global virtual internship, it's going to allow you to gain critical professional and personal skills that allow you to work in the international workforce environment. CAPA is committed to giving you an individualized placement with international, regional, and local companies, as well as other entities as well. So you're able to meet your professional and personal career goals. So with the internship, 7 days prior before the program starts, you're going to receive the virtual position description. And this is going to be completed by the host internship site. So it's going to have the company name, the location, the site supervisor details, roles and responsibilities, skills that are desired. But with this said, what's in the position description is only a taste of what you're actually going to be what you're actually going to do when you're interning. You're going to learn a lot about the internship position when you're actually interviewing for the role with the site supervisor. And then also, if you apply before the June 6th deadline ahead of time, our internship team will be able to, could reach out to you with the position description so you can see it beforehand. And then one thing I do want to note is that you will be signing a learning agreement contract. And this will outline the roles and the details, but not only will you be signing it, the site supervisor will be signing it as well. So I would recommend that you really read this agreement contract thoroughly and make sure that everything that is outlined there is things that you're comfortable doing and that you expect to do with the internship.
I will also highlight, Christine, that this is a time for you to make the most of this experience, and that's part of signing the learning agreement contract. It's stating what you hope to get out of the experience, but it's also putting responsibility too on that site to help you achieve those goals as they relate to that position being a virtual one rather than in person.
And then some examples of projects that you can be doing, and this is dependent upon the placement areas that you put in your application in the majors. So one of them will be digital content development, market data analytics, policy research, client presentations, database management, financial research, and so on. And so placements are available in a range of fields and industries, and fields that are listed here are advertising and PR, communications, game design, graphic design, marketing and communications. And I do want to note that if you don't see the field that you are interested on this slide, this is just a sample of the fields and industries that are available. So if you don't see your field here, you can reach out to myself or Maggie if you have any questions about a certain field that you want to do. And then also with this, I do want to note with finance placements, due to restrictions with privacy at the moment, fields in finance and accounting will be more research based. So you might be doing research based on price models and whatnot. So earlier I said that you'll be having an online internship orientation, and this orientation is really for you guys so that you can be successful in your global virtual internship. And this is going to include training in communication tools, so Zoom like we're on right now, Google Hangouts, and then also presentation technology, so using Google Slides and knowing how to do presentations and narrating for it. And then also using digital recording programs such as Screencast-O-Matic. And with this program, you're also going to have the component of the Global Virtual Internship course. And so 3 credits for the online global internship course. And with this course, you're going to be able to build on your personal and professional development skills, along with other CAPA students who are also going to be interning at different locations as well as you. So you might have a student, you could have your internship in Barcelona, and then one of your peers might have their internship in London, and you'll be able to compare and contrast with that. And then with this course, you're gonna be able to work with the Kappa internship team and the academic team. So benefits are gonna have mock interviews, mentoring, e-portfolio, and learning about online field research and having an online professional presence. And then throughout this course, there are gonna be evaluations and check-ins. So don't feel like you've kind of applied and then after that you're not supported by Kappa or by ASU. Throughout this entire course, they're going to be checking in and having evaluations with you. And also, if you have any questions about your internship or the course material, you can reach out to myself or any other Kappa staff. And then I'm going to pass it on to Maggie so she can talk about the application, how it's going to work on the ASU end.
Awesome. Okay, so hopefully by now you've gotten some information that makes you feel a little more comfortable with applying to the program. Please note, again, as Christine said, the application deadline is June 6th. So if you do want to apply, you'll have to start with ASU first. And what you can do is visit this URL that I have up here on the screen, or you can even go to our website and search programs by the word virtual. And then this program, the Summer Global Virtual Internship Program, will pop up. After that, you will click the Apply Now button. You will sign in with your ASU right and password. And then you'll be presented with what's called an application checklist. So essentially, you just work your way through this checklist, getting everything turned into us. I do want to note two big pieces of the application. The first being the internship coordinator review form. So this form is the document that tells us what credit we can post to your record after you've completed the program. And that's determined by your academic unit on campus, maybe your department or your college. So you need to take that form and have it completed by someone in that unit who can have that conversation with you about what credit might be available for you to earn for this experience. If you're not sure who that person is, I would start by reaching out to your academic advisor to ask, who is the internship coordinator for my major? Who can I have sign this form? The other big piece of this application with ASU is the Kappa application itself, because again, we're working in partnership here. So we provide you with a really specific link to Kappa's website and their portal. And please do use that link because it has been designed for ASU students. All right, once you make it to Kappa's portal, you are going to submit a number of things to them. The first being the application. So Christine kind of touched on this, but you are going to inform Kappa of your major, your career goals, what fields you're interested in, and that's in Kappa's application. We at ASU don't ask for all of that information because we know Kappa's asking for it later on. So be detailed. Tell Christine what it is you need to do to earn the credit that you and your internship coordinator or advisor talked about. Really articulate your career goals as much as you can. And make sure to check yes for experiential learning. Internships are experiential learning. So obviously this is an internship program, so you will be doing that. You'll also turn in a cover letter and a resume. Potentially you will need a letter of recommendation, but Christine will let you know if that's needed. It will really greatly depend on the position and the clientele that you're working with. Once Kappa has that, they will use that information to try and match you with an appropriate organization. And again, they will use all 7 cities that they work in to try to find that appropriate best fit. They won't just stick with one city. They might check in a few different locations. Once that happens, you will complete an interview, as Christine said. Now, this interview could be with a member of the organization that you're interning at. It could also be with a member of Kappa's internships team staff in London or in another city who has been granted permission by that internship company to conduct the interview. Either way, though, you will complete an interview. And then finally, you will get that high-level position description shared with you about 7 days prior to the start of the program. And it will list the company, the website, the supervisor name, the duties you can expect to take on. And it's, again, high level. So it gives you an overview, but it certainly does not detail every single thing that you might work on. Cost. I know this is a big question that students have. We're happy to discuss. The program fee for this program is $18.90. What that includes is 3 credits of ASU tuition, placement at an internship site by Kappa, and then full support from start to finish from ASU and Kappa. In addition to that, there is a $50 application fee that is paid to ASU. You are not charged that just by clicking the Apply Now button. You actually have to read and acknowledge a digital document. That's called the Acknowledgement of Application. It's also non-refundable. So once you do sign that, we will charge your account. You also have to pay a financial aid trust fee. This is charged to ASU students every term, regardless of courses they're taking. And for this summer, it is $27. Last but not least, please be mindful of college fees. So if you are a Barrett, WP Carey, Fulton, Herberger, almost every college now charges a fee in the summer. So just be mindful of that, and it is prorated usually. As I noted here, there are limited scholarships available. There is information on Kappa's website about this, and then Christine can also share this information with you after you've started applying through Kappa's portal and begun turning in some of their materials that they need. Christine, do you want to cover this slide?
Yes. So Kappa is committed to diversity, equity, and inclusion. So we want to make sure that every student has a diverse learning experience. And just one example of this is going to be in the global internship course, when you're going to be not learning only from the internship team, but also your peers. Just one peer could be having internship in marketing in London, and someone else could be having marketing in Sydney. And there are going to be differences. So you're just going to have a more of a global, broader experience that way. And then, as Maggie said, Kappa is offering limited scholarships, and the application deadline for the scholarships is June 6th. So that is the same deadline as your Kappa application. But remember, for the Kappa application, to try to get in all the materials before June 6th. The scholarship application deadline, it's okay if you get it in by June 6th. And I just saw this question pop up right now. To apply for the Kappa scholarship, you can go to Kappa's website and then click on financing, and you'll see all the scholarship information there. It's under need-based, so you just click on that and you'll see all the information and instructions to apply.
But again, you do need to reach a certain point in the application process to be considered for a scholarship, just so Kappa knows that this scholarship would go to a student who is serious about doing this program. Okay, well, that concludes our presentation. Again, thank you so much for spending part of your afternoon with us. We certainly hope that you learned a lot about this program and are looking forward to applying. I will leave this up, and I think Christine and I and my colleagues will hang out for a little bit, just in case there are any conversations still happening in the chat function. For those who feel like everything's been answered for them, feel free to sign off and enjoy the rest of your day. We look forward to receiving an application from you.
Yeah, thanks everyone for joining.
Yes. Thank you very much. Again, we'll hang out for a little bit.
Hello. Hi there.
Hi, Suzanne. How are you?
Hi, good, thanks. I did see the question go by, but I wasn't clear on whether you're going to answer or not, whether there are graduate options, because I am a grad student.
So Christine, I think you can speak to whether or not Kappa would be able to place a graduate student, and then I can speak to the credit part.
Yeah, so I'll say for the course part, we do work with more undergraduates, but if you are looking to get, if you're a graduate student and looking for an internship, I would say you can reach out to me and I can kind of provide you with my email address afterwards somehow. I will message it to you privately here, or I can message it to everyone really if anyone has questions. And then you can reach me and we can talk more about the options that are available to you.
In terms of credit, Suzanne, so it would really depend on your academic unit and whether or not they were willing to grant graduate credit for the experience, knowing that it's primarily designed for undergraduates. So I would start with them to see if the credit would work out for you.
Perfect. Thanks, ladies.
You're very welcome.
Hi, I'm a professor in the School of Music, and I have a question for you.
Sure. How can we help you?
And someone also asked this question: is this only going to happen in the summer 2020, or are you thinking this will happen again fall or next summer?
Well, maybe I'll be bold and speak for both ASU and Kappa to say that innovation is born of necessity, right? So I think this program was created to fill a need that we found this summer that existed. It's not to say that it couldn't continue. I think we are all really excited to see how this plays out this summer and how students enjoy it and if it's successful. So I don't know what it will look like in the future, but I don't know, there's potential, it seems.
Hi,
Thank you.
question. Hello?
Yes, hi.
Yes, I had a question. I went on your Kappa site and I noticed that there was a virtual internship opportunity, but it costs less money. Can you tell me what's the difference between those and could I participate in the internship if I wasn't interested in the credits?
So the difference in cost is because ASU has to charge a certain rate of tuition for the summer, or I should say ASU study abroad programs have to charge that. And there is also an administrative fee from our office. So that does account for the difference. Were you to pursue the program through Kappa without our office, we just wouldn't be able to articulate the credit and post that to your ASU record.
But it would be an identical experience. It's not like a different program.
It's the same program. It's still the global virtual internship. You just wouldn't receive credit for it.
And would the application process be different?
I believe Kappa would collect all the same application materials from you.
Great.
Is that correct, Christine?
Yeah, the same materials. You would just want to reach out to me directly so I can just walk you through if the differences. They're not really much differences, but just any variations in the application process if you're going outside.
Christine, how do we reach you?
Oh, I didn't post it to everyone. 1 second. I will put my email address. There. Can everyone see my email address?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
What is the placement rate for students who apply in their chosen field?
What is your field?
So I advise, well, my daughter is in, she's in Herberger design, like web graphic design. And then I advise for history, religious studies, and philosophical studies, philosophy.
Well, I'll let Christine answer this one as far as what placements look like in those fields and how many students do get their first choice placement.
So it really does vary, depends on when the student gets their application materials in. And then when you're doing your application, you would put 3 different placement areas. So like, for example, it could be like marketing, general business. I'm trying to think of something else. environmental science. I'm just going to throw that out there. So once you put those interests in there, and it really does depend. It kind of varies on once the materials come in and then which internship sites kind of reach back out, expressing interest in your application. But I would say putting your application in as early as possible with all of the information and, you know, telling ASU you're confirmed really will kind of move that process along faster.
Thank you.
Hi, so I'm a recipient of the Gilman Scholarship. Do you guys work with them at all?
We do, in the sense that we do promote the Gilman Scholarship in our office. Are you looking to use that scholarship for this summer experience?
So my original study abroad got canceled because of the coronavirus. So I still have the scholarship, and I was kind of just been looking for a new program to use it on. So I was just wondering if like this would be an option.
It's really at Gilman's discretion. To my knowledge, they are only allowing students to use the Gilman Scholarship on a program that is abroad. So I don't believe they would let you use it for a program like this. But again, that would be up to them. So I would suggest contacting Gilman.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Hi there. I have a couple questions.
Sure.
So my first question is, are there any opportunities similar to this in either session A or session C over the summer? The information was shared kind of late in the semester, and I had already signed up for classes and formatted my work schedule. And so I'm probably not going to be able to do the B session.
This is unfortunately the only opportunity that we've designed specifically between the ASU Study Abroad Office and Kappa. Again, yeah, it was new for us as well. So this is the only one we have, but you can certainly check and see if other academic units on campus might have any virtual internship programs going as well that they also created to fill this need that students mentioned.
Thank you. And then just a follow-up question, I think from a couple questions ago relating to the other study abroad program that wasn't going to be receiving credits. So I am a biology major and a nonprofit minor, and I'm also getting my CNP certificate. And so if I were to be able to do one of the sessions that were not covered by the credit, because I've already reached the max amount of credits I'm able to take over the summer, do you know if those would still count towards the required CFE hours I need to take, or would I have to talk with one of my advisors for that?
Are you thinking about an internship program in a different session?
No, I was asking about the B session. So I'm already scheduled for 6 credits in the B session. I'm not able to add any more credits. So if I were to do the option, like I don't know what their name was, but someone had asked a couple questions ago about the same opportunity, but without receiving credits. I was just wondering if those hours would apply towards the required CFE hours for my nonprofit program.
So, I mean, regardless, if you did the program through the ASU Study Abroad Office or directly through Kappa, you're committing 20 to 22 and a half hours per week to doing the experience. Really, if you want the experience to count for any credit toward a minor certificate or major at ASU, it has to come back articulated on a transcript through our office, or to our office, excuse me. So if you wanted it to count for CFP credit, then you would need to do the credit bearing option so that it can apply somehow to your academic program.
Okay, it's not a credit-based thing. We just have to do, so since it's a nonprofit program, we just have to complete hours outside of the school. We don't have to provide any credit. We just have to provide like filled out forms. I just wasn't sure if you had worked with any of my program's individuals before. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I haven't, but that's a great question for your advisor. And then I would get the answer from them and go from there.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi. This is Amy from the Barrett Honors College.
Hi.
Hi there.
I was just listening in, and I just wanted to clarify that for Barrett students, Barrett does not charge the Barrett fee in the summer semester.
Awesome. That's great news.
Yeah.
Thank you, Amy.
I double checked with my business office, but I just wanted to let that know for any Barrett students on the call.
Okay, thanks so much. I'm going to write that down.
Okay.
Hi. So I had two quick questions. My first one is, do you guys work with any like foreign governments, like for internship opportunities? Because I'm studying cybersecurity with a focus on counterterrorism.
So I can say, Christine might want to speak more to this. I can say that I had a student last semester in person. She interned at Parliament in London. But again, that was a different time, and that was also in person. So Kappa would have to speak to the availability of a position like that, especially in the kind of virtual world that we're living in right now. I wonder, I can say that
I'll speak up. So this is Jody Melliker calling in from Kappa. So we do have political placements. However, they are more at a challenge within the virtual space, again, due to privacy concerns and things like that. However, advocacy and opportunities that are related to politics are likely going to be opportunities for this summer. What I would recommend is for you to start your application right away so we can see where your interests are, and specifically if you have any special major requirements that you need, we would need to know about those up front and have a one-on-one conversation with you just to make sure that we could meet the needs of what you're looking for as a part of the experience.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. And then my other question was, working in the field of like cybersecurity and stuff like that, you know, internships have to be like really specific to that field for it to count towards anything in my professional life. So getting like, let's just say, you know, I know you have to choose 3 preferences. If I got something like, if I threw cybersecurity down and then like I chose 2 things somewhat similar to that, but they're not really, and I got one of those instead, would I be able to cancel without being penalized because like a degree in game design or something like that wouldn't be useful to me? So I just don't want to spend $1,800 to get an internship that wouldn't benefit me in my professional career.
One thing you'd want to be really careful about is that you're not putting any placement choices in your application that are not feasible, because we don't want the team to be reaching out for opportunities that then again are not going to be possible for you to get credit in. It will be very transparent in terms of cybersecurity. It is one area that is going to be very challenging just because of privacy concerns. So we've had students in country that have done cybersecurity type placements, but virtually companies are less likely to allow for those types of placements. So anyone interested in that particular area, they would have to be open to placements that looked more at IT support and IT systems. And it sounds like with your particular degree, it needs to be very specific. So that would be something that we would talk to you about before the application deadline, just to make sure that we feel that we're going to be able to find something for you in that area that really meets your needs. So again, you would want to really apply well in advance. And then if it's a conversation where we're having one with you that we realize that it's just what we're able to source is not going to meet really what you need in terms of your credit, then we can tell you right away so you don't continue down the application process and not be able to fulfill what you need.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
Hi, I have a couple questions about SCAP students. I looked on the information page real quick towards the end here, and it was saying so that we aren't covered, which is fine. So if I wanted to do this, do I have to like apply differently, or how does that work? Because I know my application is, and like how I am a student at ASU is a little bit different because I'm a student through a very specific program.
Well, just because you're an SCAP student doesn't mean we would treat you any differently. You are still an ASU student.
Sure.
But in terms of payment coverage, you would have to talk to Starbucks about that, given that it's a program fee that we're charging and not normal ASU tuition.
Do you know who where I can find the contact information for that? Because I didn't see a contact on that SCAP page.
We usually recommend that students talk to it's the Starbucks Partner Center, I think, or there is actually on the SCAP page of the Study Abroad website, there is an email address that goes to the Financial Aid and Scholarships Office at ASU, because they have like a handful of people that just work with corporate scholarships.
Okay.
I think it's the email address is
at asu.edu. Yeah, I saw that. Okay, cool. I wasn't sure if that was the correct one or not. So cool. That helps. Thank you.
You're welcome. I would start there with questions, but again, yes, you are welcome to apply to this program. We don't see SCAP students any differently than other ASU students.
Sure. And I saw someone say on the chat, and we haven't got to the question yet, of if there are payment plans or anything for this.
That is a great question. And I think I managed to answer that person privately somehow. There is the option to split the program fee into half. So we would bill the first part would be due in, I believe, June, and the second half would be due in July. And that's at no charge.
Nice. That's a lot easier. Thank you.
Welcome.
Hi, I've had a couple questions. I've never done an internship program, much less a virtual one. I was just wondering what would be expected of us as a participant?
So, and I think Kappa staff can also comment on this, but you know, we're working in this world right now where almost everyone's working from home. So it is taking the duties and responsibilities that an intern would normally perform in person and moving them virtually. So that might be completing various projects. It might be creating presentations. That was one of the slides we had. Oh, I have to go way back. Had sample project or like duties, you could say, but it's hard to answer specifically just given the different positions that students can hold. So it's really going to depend on the work that your site needs to be done and the field in which you've gotten an internship.
Okay, I'm going for the biological sciences for my major, and I am taking a chemistry class over the summer. I was wondering how the 22.5 hours per week were divided out, if there were certain scheduled times a day, or if I would have to like work around it.
Typically, the hours are worked out between the student and the internship site, and obviously having to be mindful of the time difference as well. So that would be up to you and your supervisor to articulate when you should be expected to be available and when you might be able to work at other times of the day.
All right, thank you.
But also, too, you can put in your application, or you can just email me saying like, I'm taking this class at this time or that time, so we can kind of make notes in your application. So that way, just planning the schedule, we kind of already know what's going to be the best time for you to work or coordinate with the internship site.
Okay, so it's like relatively flexible.
It does depend on that meeting that you have with the internship site, but it is something that you can bring up to my attention and I can bring it up to the team's attention. So that way we're aware of it. And that will just help us, you know, in terms of the planning process.
Okay.
I just want to emphasize again, there's a lot of questions flying around in the chat box. We are going to do our best to curate a transcript from this presentation so that we can kind of collate all these questions and answers and then turn those into an FAQ document so that if a question slipped through the cracks, we didn't get a chance to address it, we will in that document.
One question, please.
Yes.
Hi, this is Allison Bentley. Where exactly is the list of what majors you have and what cities they're connected to and the description of the actual programs. I'm seeing a page to apply, but I'm seeing it all just jumbled in together. Is there anything with the description?
Are you
Just to-
referring to?
Yeah, I can give a little bit more information on that. This is Jody again from Kappa. So all of our placements are customized to the individual that applies on the program. So students can put preferences in terms of if they would like to try to get an internship placement in a particular city. However, really what we're looking at is the experience and the field and the skills and what you bring to the table. And then we look to find the best placement for you regardless of the city that it's in, although we'll take some preferences in mind. And we're also constantly, seeking new opportunities and things like that. So I would recommend, if you have any questions about your particular field or you have a specific area of interest, to reach out to Christine so she can really have a one-on-one with you about your particular situation. So you have those details before you apply or while you're applying to make sure that the expectations are set accordingly.
Okay, I've seen past it overseas things for communications majors like I am in London and things. So I thought maybe they were all, separate.
Yeah, there's lots and lots of
Okay, thank you.
opportunities for communications. That's actually one of the, a great area to be studying in terms of being able to have a wide range of virtual internship opportunities.
Thank you.
So if you were a communications major, you'd want to be specific in your choices about what areas of communication you're interested in. One big area, of course, is social media. In terms of that, PR is another opportunity that students have gotten lots of great experience with in terms of communication, but there may be other relevant areas that you're really want to focus on. So just make sure that you're clear and detailed when you're filling out your application so the team can be as bespoke as possible in terms of finding the right placement for you. We don't just have a list that we're just trying to slot students in. We're really looking at each individual to make sure we're providing the absolute best opportunity based on you as an individual in your application.
So just to clarify then, because so far I haven't really seen anything that seems really relevant to what I want to major in, which is like field conservation and stuff. Like I don't want to do the advocacy and the more political, social aspect of it. I just want to be like on the ground doing the science. So there's not a list of like the actual positions that are available so that we could see ahead of time before we start putting in the time for this application.
Yeah, the problem, if you're looking for field, if you're looking for specifically field work and things like that, I would say your opportunities are going to be limited just because of the nature of you being in the US and the opportunities of it being a global project. But again, if you reach, I would probably recommend Christine just put her Calendly link into the chat function where you can schedule a call with her. And that might be, a good way to go about it so she can have a one-on-one with you and then get back to you about any specifics in terms of your area, just to make sure that you think that it's going to meet your needs before you start applying.
Okay, thanks. I'll do that.
Great. And also with the internships, you're going to get experience, but you will be able to get transferable skills that just alone with the nature of the internship, you're going to get a lot of transferable skills, teamwork, project management. So even though it's not specifically what you think that you're going to be able to get, or it's going to be a little limited to get, you're still going to be able to get those skills by the end of the program. So that's just something to keep in mind as well.
Okay, so my main goal with this is that I do plan to apply to grad school afterwards, and some of my current professors told me that it's really important to have like field work and research opportunities and stuff. And so anything that, because I'm already taking a full load this summer, so if I'm going to add on top of it, I really want to see a bang for the buck sort of thing, Okay. And so yeah, I just want to make sure that it's something that would help me get into grad school.
Okay, that's perfect. I did put I think my Calendly link is there, and hopefully you'll be able to see it. So I would definitely say just schedule a call with me and we can really chat about it so I know exactly what you're looking for in the internship and we can go from there.
Okay, yeah, I copied the link already, so I'll do that
Okay.
after we get out of the call.
All right.
All right, thanks, guys. Oh, wait, hold on. I guess I did have one more question since no one else is asking me anything. I get a Pell Grant and I also have the, student loans and stuff. Can I pay for this course with those things, or is it like I just pay cash flat out?
So I would check with the Financial Aid and Scholarships Office at ASU, because you can use your Pell Grant in the summer, 50% of it. So let's say you receive 3,000 of the Pell Grant in this semester. That means you could use 1,500 in the summer. But that being said, you typically have to be a full-time student, which means being enrolled in 6 hours over the summer.
Yeah, I've already got my Pell pending disbursement. And like I said, I'm already taking a full course, so I'm, dipping into the savings already because there's no loan in the summer, not a subsidized one anyway. So I'd probably, in the case of this, either be probably paying for it entirely out of pocket or maybe dropping one of the classes in order to do this instead.
Right. It's up to you, and you can talk to the financial aid office about additional funding opportunities like an increase in loan. But if you are already a full-time student, then it sounds like that aid is already paying out towards the course you're registered in so far.
Yeah, it's already been allotted.
I have a question.
Sure.
Yes, that's Carlitos Hernandez here. I'm an advisor, and I was curious. I'm not sure if it was discussed earlier. I got in a little bit later, but once this, let's say a student decides to do this, how is the course how is the course applied? Is this considered like a 484 credit, given your major? How would the internship course be applied? Because I have students within certain majors that, need an internship or they're thinking about internships. So is this considered an upper division? Is a certain classification depending on where you do it, how you do it? Do you have information about that?
Yes. And remind me, what unit do you advise for?
CISA. So I deal with students that are interdisciplinary studies, a lot of more of the flexible degree programs, like liberal studies, but I also have students that are in communication and, they could take an internship on. So this, to me, it sounds like a great opportunity. So I'm just trying to figure out, how this would all come together, I guess.
Good question. So it was addressed, but very briefly, I'm happy to kind of re-articulate this and expand on it. So it is an upper division course, and I'd say all students, when they complete an internship, are earning upper division credit at ASU for the experience. But we leave it up to the academic units to decide how to articulate that credit. So we require that students complete an internship coordinator review form, and that prompts them to go to you or someone else in their unit and have that conversation about, I want to do this program. There's a class associated with it. It's 3 credits, which, by the way, the form explains. And then you guys can talk about, well, here's what you need to do to earn IDS 484 or IDS 401 or COM 484. So it really depends on the unit. And some units have additional requirements. Like they say, yes, you can earn credit, but you also have to submit journal entries to us or a final paper to us. Whereas other units might say, as long as you intern in this field, we'll give you this credit, also assuming you complete the coursework through CAPA. So we leave that up to you all, but we're happy to kind of field those questions and talk through that with you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Here's an out-of-the-box question, but could be beneficial to students. Just given, a lot of times when you do an internship, sometimes that leads to a more long-term partnership. What is the typical expectation of a company working with students during the summers? How often is the possibility that, this company wants to keep working with the students. I mean, I know it's really dependent on the company and the student itself, but, is that something they're interested in? Or is it just kind of the expectation, hey, you're going to do this 135 hours and, good luck to you for the most part? Or what's kind of the discussions about that, or how much do you know about that?
It is really dependent, like you said, on the relationship that the intern would have with the internship site. So, if you create a really positive relationship with your supervisor, then obviously that could be a possibility, but it really does depend on, type of relationship and kind of the role and how well everyone gets along and so forth.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Christine. I just scheduled a meeting with you for tomorrow, but in the confirmation, I've never used Calendly before. Is this gonna be like a Zoom meeting, or how's this gonna work?
I'm gonna call you.
Oh, okay, cool, that'll work. But wait, I didn't put my phone number or anything.
Or I have your email, so right beforehand, I can email you, or you can give me your phone number now, either one, and just saying like about to call. So
Okay,
leave
yeah,
your number or something like that. Yeah,
I'll send that over.
All right, I think we're going to hang out for another 5 minutes and answer any remaining questions. Like I said, if there are questions in the chat field that did not get addressed because there's a whole lot going on there, we will be sure to make note of them and provide the answer in the FAQ document that we send out next week.
Hi, so I was wondering, for the setup of the internship, is it similar to like a Canvas course where we have presentations and assignments in like some sort of program, or is it kind of just as we're given work?
In the internship course itself, like what type of work you'll be doing in there?
Yeah, like I know you said we were doing projects and presentations, but what was like the main hub for all this? Is it a different program that we'll be introduced to, or is it similar to how we've done classes online at ASU?
You'll be in Canvas, so it will be, Kappa's version of Canvas. So if you've already used that system, then you'll be very familiar with it. In terms of the work that you'll be doing with your specific site, that will depend on the needs of your placement site. So there could be some new technologies that you're being introduced to and you're learning from, and that will also be great because it also broadens your resume and things of different platforms that you've used. And that will be discussed with your actual site, but the coursework that you'll be doing is through Canvas.
Okay.
Jody, I had a question from YouTube Live, and someone is wondering what kind of placements are available for healthcare and life science.
So in terms of healthcare and kind of global health, that is a very competitive area right now, as I know you could imagine with what's going on with the global pandemic. A lot of the organizations that focus on global health are really needing to be able to focus and not taking on interns. However, there are lots of opportunities in terms of health advocacy at community placement. So working with different populations of these cities that need extra support, health education. So those are some examples also within the area of research. So there are good possibilities in terms of that being an option for people interested in those particular areas.
Thanks, Jody.
No problem.
Hi, I have a question.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Jody had answered this like a while back. I asked if there's anything engineering related. I said I was in automotive systems, but she said there was nothing particularly automotive, but I could take something with transferable skills. So, I'm just wondering, like, how would I go about that? Like, are there any, just basically take any related engineering internships?
Yeah, so what we could look at is it's going to be very niche in terms of what your requirements are and kind of what you're looking for. One thing that you could look at is what are the transferable skills that you're going to need in your future career with engineering. So that's project management, that's teamwork, that's remote collaboration and things like that, and some of the soft skills. So that's one way you could go, is to say, you know, what are these soft skills that I'm not necessarily getting in my coursework that I know are going to be really beneficial to help make me competitive in the workplace. And so there may be even another area of interest that you have that would be able to help you kind of hone in on some of those skills. Looking specifically kind of at your areas of interest within the engineering field, we can do further research and follow up with our international placement team to get more specifics for you. So what I would encourage you to do is to either set up a Calendly call with Christine or send an email, and then we can send you, you know, some samples, but we want to be very transparent in terms of what we really are able to provide. So you're not, you know, expecting something that we're not going to be able to deliver on in terms of your area, because it is pretty niche and competitive in terms of those types of placements.
It's a very interesting way to look at it. So just soft skills, anything that can provide said skills, yeah?
And that's something that, you know, engineering firms and engineering opportunities are really looking for in terms of, you know, communication is key at any job that you have in your future. And collaboration is another one. And so for you to be able to say that you had a global virtual internship where you gained all of these skills may make you really stand out amongst other candidates that have been really focused on the theoretical or the coursework that they've been doing. And that can be something that really comes across in a future interview that you have when you are entering the job force.
I see. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. No problem.
Okay, we'll hang out for one more minute or so, and then we will call it a day and send you all a follow-up email with the recording and with an FAQ. I also brought up the last slide again just to show you that we did list the ASU Study Abroad office's email address, which is studyabroad@asu.edu, pretty easy. Our phone number is listed along with our website. Feel free to email us any questions that either didn't get answered or that you think of later on down the road. We even have a live chat feature on our website that our peer advisors monitor. So we are here from Monday to Friday, 8 to 5 to answer your questions.
And yeah, like Maggie said in the chat, feel free to email me with any questions you have as well.
Yes. Email any one of us. I don't want to flood any one person, but yes, we're available. We know we did not get to everything today that we wish we could have gotten to. We certainly saw an explosion in interest compared to what we thought there might be. So yeah, we're excited to see where this goes. We're excited to receive your application, and we look forward to speaking with you. Okay, with that, it is 2 o'clock, so I will call it a day and end this webinar. Use the email addresses that we've shared. We've loved having you on this afternoon. We hope you have a great rest of your day and perhaps an early start to your weekend. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you, everyone.